Welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and today I'm here to chat with you about diamond painting burnout. Yes, burnout. This is something that I think most of us diamond painters have experienced at some point, and over the past 4 years, I certainly have experienced it myself more than once, and have also come up with some ways that I have found helps me get through and avoid burnout, and thought that I would share those ideas and suggestions with you today. I've broken it down into about 5 different tips that I'd give, and as I'm working on prepping my next diamond painting project, I thought we could sit and just chat about that a little bit today. If you're interested in seeing more diamond painting videos from me like this one, or unboxings or reviews, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you here. So like I said, I feel like this is something that most of us have dealt with at one point or another if you've been diamond painting for a little while. And while it can obviously be super frustrating and discouraging, there are definitely ways that I have found that have helped me get through burnout faster and avoid it happening more often. So number one, my first tip for avoiding diamond painting burnout is to do some kind of swap, make some kind of change as far as the diamond painting kit that you are working on. Whether that means working on just a completely different style of kit or a different size of kit or something like that, I find that mixing things up can really be refreshing and help me feel a little bit less like I'm avoiding the craft or enjoying working on it. So a lot of times what I'll do is say I'm working on a really large diamond painting kit. Maybe it has a lot of confetti, which is a lot of color changes, and doing a lot of single placing, which in general means that that kit is going to take me longer to complete. Often what I'll do is I will go ahead and kit up or start on another diamond painting, but one that is much smaller. I've heard a lot of other diamond painters say that they struggle with this as well, but that when it feels like they haven't gotten the satisfaction of a completed diamond painting in a while, that can sometimes lead to burnout for them. So I like to, especially if I have a large project going, which whether or not a project is large is of course going to be subjective, I'll go ahead and also have a smaller project that I'm going back and forth between the two, and then, I'll have the satisfaction of a completed diamond painting in the midst of working on a larger project. A lot of times I'll also try to work on that as something that is stylistically really different. For me, I'm more prone to burnout if I'm working on a kit that has a lot of dark colors, or for me, it's a lot of the color green for some reason. That tends to be something that will burn me out. And so if I'm working on something that has a color palette that I'm finding fatiguing and I'm not wanting to reach for working on it, I might, dive into my diamond painting stash and work on something that has really bright colors and maybe like a lot of color blocking, something that is just really different, and I can go back and forth between the two, and I find that is a lot more satisfying and enjoyable. And it's also a chance for me to really take a good look at the diamond paintings that I already do own and look at them with a more intentional eye. Look at them and go, okay, what of this artwork, or something about this kit is really, truly speaking to me? What's calling my name? What, when I open it up and look at the canvas, do I get really excited about the idea of working on? I really don't think that you can underestimate the value and the weight that working on a kit that you actually genuinely very much enjoy working on can have on your diamond painting experience. Don't force yourself to work on kits or things that you don't enjoy. Instead, make sure you're, working on something that you do enjoy as much as you can. And if you are working on something that is making you feel more burnt out, which can mean just not reaching for a kit or not, feeling like you want to sit down and work on it, swap to something else and mix it up. And I feel like that really helps hit that reset button and gets you away from the project that is just draining you. So tip number 2 for avoiding diamond painting burnout is, I'm going to say, take a break. And by take a break, this can mean a number of different things. This can mean take a break from diamond painting. Say, you know what? This week or today, I'm just not going to diamond paint. It's okay. I'm going to go do other things. Taking a break can mean taking a break from doing diamond painting events. Quite frankly, I cannot tell you guys the number of times I have seen people comment and say that doing events wears them out and burns them out because they're really just striving to do all of the events, participate in all of the things. I feel like that is one of the common causes of diamond painting burnout. And I say this as someone that hosts a number of diamond painting events, and I love hosting them. I'll tell you what, hosting them can burn me out a little bit too. So I have to be really intentional about not trying to do diamond painting events, whether participating in or hosting them all the time. I do a couple or a few throughout the year. Or if I'm going to participate in an event, I'll only participate in it if it's a kit that I was already planning to work on anyway. And so I know I'm going to enjoy working on the kit. Something that goes hand in hand with that, though, I think is, as far as like kind of taking a break, is sort of taking a break in the sense of it's not a race. Sometimes you feel like you have to go as fast as you can to keep up with other people or to make that deadline for that event. And it depends on the person, but for a lot of people, the prospect of having to work on something quickly and be working to a deadline or comparing yourself to other people, that can wear you out too. Along with that, taking a break can look like taking a break from social media, because that goes right with the idea of not playing the comparison game. Sometimes I've had to step back from social media in terms of, Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, just because I'll see what other people are doing or the progress that they're making and whatnot, and I'll find myself wanting to compare myself to them, and that leads to me just not enjoying working on my diamond painting and feeling burnt out. So yes, tip number 2, I would just say in general, kind of the overall theme is take a break. If there's something that you're feeling like is specifically causing you to feel dissatisfied with your craft, just go ahead and take a break from that thing. And even if it's just the craft itself and you go, I don't know what it is, I just feel like I'm not loving it, take a break from the craft itself too. And sometimes just coming back to it with fresh eyes and with a couple of days or couple of weeks, couple of months off can really just reignite that spark and enjoyment for the craft. Tip number 3 for avoiding burnout in diamond painting, I would say I'd summarize this as don't fall victim to FOMO, fear of missing out. This again is something that it kind of goes with tip number 2 with a comparison and taking a break, but FOMO is the fear of missing out and feeling like you have to have it all. You have to have all the diamond paintings. You want to just, build like a big diamond painting stash. You kind of fall victim to shops and marketing and being like, oh, but I need to get this because it might sell out or because, X, Y, and Z. Honestly, I feel like a lot of us start out that way with our diamond painting journey, and it's inevitably, I feel like, leads to feelings of like, oh, I'm so tired of the FOMO. So I think being aware and trying to avoid feeling that urgency to buy all the things and do all the things can be really helpful to be aware of and try to avoid. Along with that, I often will feel easily overwhelmed if I have a lot of diamond paintings. There's a sense of like, oh, there's clutter. There's just so much that I'm never going to get to. And so as part of avoiding FOMO, sometimes I feel like you can also look at de-stashing and decluttering. Really take a hard look at your kits and go, okay, do I see myself working on this diamond painting, or did I just buy it because I got caught up in the hype? So then I'll go through and I'll get rid of the kits that aren't, in the words of the fabulous Marie Kondo, sparking joy. And having fewer kits actually it feels like it frees up my mind a little bit. And I'm more likely to, enjoy what I am working on and what I do have. And this can come with accessories too, kits, accessories, all the things related to the craft. So declutter, destash, avoid the FOMO in general. We live in a society that, promotes excess, and here on my channel, I try to be aware of that and make, when I'm doing videos, about let me just be able to showcase what these different features are of these different diamond paintings so that you can make a decision about where is the best place that you can intentionally buy kits from, and that you hopefully will know that, okay, this is something I am going to enjoy. So yes, that was tip number 3, which is just avoid the FOMO and, as part of that, destash and declutter. Tip number 4 I really like because this has helped me in the past often, and that is to try something new. Trying something new can involve anything from, let me try a new craft. This kind of goes along with taking a break. Let me try a new craft and do something that's different, just to mix it up and have, another hobby or craft going that I'll go back and forth between with diamond painting. Trying something new can look like something different while you're actually doing your diamond painting. I go back and forth between listening to audiobooks or having YouTube, channels on in the background, or having shows on in the background, or podcasts or something like that. I feel like sometimes mixing up what you have going on while you're diamond painting, it can help make it feel more fresh and new to you again. I also think trying something new in terms of, let's try a different approach to something. I found at one point that the size of sections that I was working on in a diamond painting were too large. And I find that I get a little boost of like serotonin when I complete even just a section on a diamond painting. Like I use washi tape or, release paper to create a section that I work on. And when I was working on sections that were too large, it was taking me a lot longer to get to that, oh yay, I finished a section, that sense of like accomplishment. So when I, deliberately changed it up and decided, okay, let me make smaller sections instead, that made a difference for me and also helped with, again, like I said, getting that feeling of, yay, I finished something, even if it was, just a small section within a larger diamond painting. Trying something new can also be, and not to like go against what I suggested in the last step in terms of like clutter and stash, but if it's like a small thing, trying something new in terms of, let me get a new diamond painting pen, or let me try a new tray. If you're feeling frustrated with, you can't get your drills to line up well in your tray, maybe try a new tray that won't, make it difficult to do your diamond painting, or trying a new pen that is more comfortable so that it doesn't, there's no physical discomfort involved with your diamond painting. There's all kinds of different things you could try to do differently about your approach that could potentially make diamond painting more enjoyable and make it less likely that you're going to feel burnt out. So lots of different things that you could try. Just try something new to, again, just sort of rejuvenate and bring back some of the novelty that came with, when you first started diamond painting. And if you're like me, you just wanted to sit down and spend all of your spare time diamond painting. And so little ways that you can try to sort of recapture that excitement the way that you had, before. The 5th and final tip that I have to share with you today as far as how to avoid diamond painting burnout would be, I'm going to summarize this as accept and reflect. So what I mean by this is, don't be hard on yourself for feeling burnt out. I have certainly been prone to, when I'm feeling burnout, just kind of kicking myself a little bit and going, what's the problem? You love this craft. It is supposed to be bringing you so much joy. Why are you feeling burnt out? You have no reason to be feeling burnt out. And I feel like it's sort of, when you fight that you're feeling that burnout, that can actually make it last longer in a way. So instead of beating yourself up over it, just go, you know what? Yeah, no, I'm feeling burnt out right now. It is what it is. That's okay. Let me try some things to try to get over it, but I'm not going to sit here and sit down and force myself to diamond paint and go, you're not burnt out. You're really not burnt out. We're just going to keep diamond painting because you're definitely not burnt out right now. It's okay to go, I'm not liking it. I'm not enjoying this craft right now. I don't want to do it. So just don't. It's okay. It's part of take a break. Accept that, okay, yes, I'm feeling burnt out. Doesn't mean that I'm never going to enjoy the craft again. And along with that, I pair that with reflecting. Now, I am a highly, highly introspective person. I spend a lot of time, thinking about what caused the thing, what led to the thing. And so I'll spend some time going, was there something in particular that I think maybe triggered or led to this fatigued feeling where I don't want to diamond paint anymore? And I have identified some of those things, and now I actively avoid them. So for me, I don't work on landscapes almost at all anymore because they tend to be large kits. There's usually a lot of confetti, and so it's going to take me a long time because of that, along with the size. And the subject matter just doesn't particularly interest me that much, even if I think they look beautiful completed. No shade if you love landscapes. I, again, think they look amazing completed, and I love watching other people work on them. But I recognize at this point that, hey, if I work on a landscape, I'm probably going to just feel like it's a slog. I'm not going to enjoy it, and ultimately may end up getting burnt out. I also recognize things like if I work on a kit that has tons of confetti or is, maybe difficult to work with for some reason, then I definitely want to make sure that the next kit that I work on has, more color blocking or is from a company that I know very well and know is going to have consistent quality and isn't going to be a struggle to diamond paint to begin with. And so it's identifying, okay, these are the things that will, for me personally, potentially lead to burnout. And for you, it could be those same kinds of things or something very different, but I think it could be helpful to sit and just process it and think through, okay, what may have led to this and how are some ways that I can actively avoid it? And hopefully some of the, first 4 steps and tips that I've given you have given you some suggestions for, getting through it if you, are coming to this video and going, but I'm already burnt out. I can't avoid it at this point. Like I'm there. But for the future, because again, just even over the past 4 years of diamond painting, I have to have gone through at least probably once a year. I go through a phase where I'm like, man, I'm just feeling kind of burnt out. I know I've said burnt that phrase a lot this video, but that's kind of the theme of it. I'll find myself in a phase where I'm not enjoying diamond painting as much and actively wanting to seek out other things. So it is what it is. And you absolutely, hopefully this is encouraging to know, like your enjoyment and your love for diamond painting absolutely can and will come back. So, you don't have to panic and like force yourself to push through the burnout for fear that like, if I don't, I'm never going to diamond paint again. All right. So all that being said, my friends, those are my 5 tips for dealing with diamond painting burnout. Just a really quick recap. The first tip I had was to swap, change it up to do something different, whether that's a different kit or, a different craft of some sort. Suggestion number 2 is to just take a break, whether that's from events or social media or from the craft for a little bit. And step number 3 was to not fall victim to FOMO and to destash and declutter if you're feeling overwhelmed by what you have, and just kind of clear up that space in your mind and your actual physical space. Step number 4 was to try something new, whether that's what you're doing while you're diamond painting, a different way of sectioning off your canvas or approaching the actual craft, maybe trying out a new accessory that will make it more physically comfortable or less frustrating to diamond paint in general, or mixing up and just trying a new craft to kind of alternate along with diamond painting. And then the 5th and final suggestion I had to do with kind of accepting and reflecting on, what tends to trigger burnout and fatigue for you. And now I'd actually really enjoy hearing from you guys in the comments below this video. Is diamond painting burnout or fatigue something that you personally have dealt with, no matter how long you've been, diamond painting? And if so, or if you've managed to avoid it, what are some suggestions that you might have? What are some things that you have found helpful for you personally? Because, well, these are the sorts of things that came to mind for me and that I just have found work for me over time. There are certainly, a lot of different approaches and ideas, and it's going to be really personal and subjective. So be sure to take a look down in the comments below to see if someone has made another suggestion or has some advice that I didn't that you might find helpful. Anything that will help you continue enjoying diamond painting and feeling the relaxation and all the benefits that come with doing this craft, as opposed to feeling fatigued by it and actively avoiding it and just not enjoying it, even if you do sit down to try to push yourself to do it. So thanks so much for watching. I genuinely do hope that this was helpful and gave you some ideas for ways that you can try to avoid burnout. And I look forward to reading what your thoughts are in the comments below this video. I'll also have some helpful links in the description box of this video, which is going to be just below the title. There will be some things like some other tutorials and how-tos that I've done here on YouTube, and Like I said earlier in the video, if you liked this video and enjoy diamond painting content, I do a wide variety of diamond painting videos here on my channel and would absolutely love to have you here. So hit that subscribe button, and you can hit the bell to be notified when I share new videos. And if you wouldn't mind leaving a thumbs up on your way out, I'd appreciate that as well. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I hope that you have a totally stress and burnout free diamond painting experience and a fantastic week. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.